Next up is Dot Lung, who calls herself the mother of social media dragons and has managed Instagram's strategy for brands like Wix and Facebook themselves. She also happens to be a great friend of mine and I love her work. So in her session, she'll be teaching you her proven framework for crafting Instagram stories that lead to sales conversations with quality leads. Dot, the stage is yours.
Most creative people struggle with generating sales on Instagram. How do you explain that some people earn millions on Instagram while others don't earn a penny, even when they've got thousands of followers? How can some people travel the world on the back of their Instas while others spend twice as much time on the app and haven't gotten further than the coffee machine? How is it possible to turn a DM into $100,000? Well, 10 years ago, I made a discovery that transformed the way that I view social media and the way I used it. I worked out how to generate sales on Instagram, and it turns out it has nothing to do with sales and everything to do with serving your dream customers and clients. You don't need to be a businessman in a blue suit, nor do you need a master's in business management. In fact, there's a very simple pattern that great influencers use to make a living, and a decent one at that. Your focus on making sales on Instagram is actually what is keeping you from making sales on Instagram. Profitable businesses focus on relationships. By avoiding sleazy sales, they build valuable relationships and ecosystems that generate abundance. Once you've got that, the sales look after themselves. I wanted to know how people were making money while living the life they wanted. My corporate job was fine. It brought me all the product bags I wanted, but left me no time to enjoy what I really loved. I wanted to join the travel influencers I saw in my stories, jetting around the globe. If I'm anything, I'm resourceful. So I went through every single landing page, every post, every sales funnel, and all the ads of the people that I admired to try to figure out how I could replicate their success. And I did. With no rich parents, no savings, no investors, just a lot of credit card debt. My goal was freedom. I wanted to make enough money online to leave LA and build my own location-independent business that would let me travel the world. I left everything to write my own story, and I made it. I went through the Dragon's Lair, and now, over 100,000 followers later, I'm here to share everything I learned, so you can too. Lucrative influencers all use the same method, taking the same steps to build a brand that makes money and meaning in the world. So I studied what they did and took the time to codify it. And guess what? The last thing they think about is making money. This little method explains why some organizations and some people, normal people, are able to live from their Instagram without living on their Instagram, while others spend their lives in the app with absolutely no benefit to them or the world. I work with a whole variety of clients, from Fortune 500 businesses to creative freelancers. Big businesses, they love sales, but can often struggle to translate their purpose beyond those sales. Meanwhile, what do creatives hate? Sales. But unsurprisingly, they quite like money, and it turns out a balance between these two worlds is the perfect one for making money. So I had to take what I learned from both to create a very simple method that can help anyone develop sales strategies and techniques to attract clients and close them so that it doesn't compromise on personality, purpose, or profits. So here's the truth. You can show up boldly, sell like a boss, and not compromise your values or boundaries. You can master sales and objection handling without having to feel sleazy nor feel guilty. My method is the Dragon's Method. Why? Well, I love the Game of Thrones and wanted an excuse to name myself the Queen of Dragons. but also because it makes a pretty useful acronym. The Dragon system can be applied to all social media strategies. So let's look at how it works, and I'll share a few extra herbs and spices to create some tasty Dragon Insta stories that will secure you that sale, or sales, plural. Now, what do we think the letter D represents? It's for dialogue. In fact, the first 3 letters complement each other so nicely, so let's take a look at how we can get to the juicier stories sooner. R is relatability and A is authenticity. It's what puts the social in social media. You gotta work out who you are talking to and what they're about and how you connect. In marketing speak, that's called conversation marketing, but it's really just having a chat and developing a relationship like you would in the real world. The D could even stand for dating. Every post you upload is like a first date. You gotta impress whoever sees it for the first time. Create that intimate connection so that they stick around for more. Don't ever take your underpants off too early, especially in the social media game, because it's a marathon and rushed relationships are not healthy. And what's the worst thing about going on a first date? Someone who talks about themselves the whole freaking time. You can't just want them to find out about you. You've actually got to listen to them, find out what they're like, ask questions, find out their needs and their wants, their hopes and their dreams. What challenges and what problems are they having? You can have the most beautiful, pixel perfect feed in the world, and you'll only really make social media work for you when you create a dialogue by reaching out to people doing similar things, support them, contribute, and comment on their work, chat with them on your posts, maybe even collaborate with them. Invite them on a journey at the pace of a natural, healthy relationship. Like healthy relationships, you can keep in touch and keep that dialogue going. By reaching out, you'll reach success. I used the D in the Dragon when I first moved to Israel, a country in which I had no contacts, no friends, and I didn't even speak the language. By slipping into the DMs of people I admired online with a simple hello, I secured a $100,000 consulting gig like magic. It's amazing what a little shalom can lead you to. This wasn't the only door that opened for me thanks to simply asking how I could support and serve the people I chatted with. It's very simple. Conversations lead to conversions. Here's an example of a sales conversation the right way and the wrong way. Whatever you do, do not sell on the first date. In fact, it's been shown a whole number of times that less produced, more intimate content is a great way to develop a bond. As your loving relationship blossoms, trust grows, and you gotta reveal more of you, warts and all. It'll also give you great ideas. You gotta reveal more of you, warts and all. It will also give you a great idea of how and where to meet them where they are. This leads neatly onto the next letter, relatability, the key to any successful social media campaign. From memes to emojis, GIFs, and viral videos, if someone can identify with your content, they are more likely to feel comfortable with it, share it, and use it to represent a part of them. They might even truly connect with your product, follow you, and spend some cash on whatever you create. You can't just fire random bits of content out there and hope something will hit through. In fact, that's more likely to alienate people. Instead, be authentic, the third letter in the Dragon. People can tell a fake, and nobody likes a wannabe. Your content needs to make sense for people to be able to relate to it. Find the heart of your product. What are you trying to achieve? What is your authentic, true purpose? And tell that story. A story which your target can place themselves into neatly. Not only will a clear story be more believable to consumers, it will be more believable for you. Work out the story behind your brand. What message do you want to transmit, and how will you tell it? Be true to yourself. That might sound a bit wishy-washy, but in the words of Brené Brown, a story is just data with a soul. They help us to connect, and that's what it's all about. Connection, not social media, life. People connect to honesty. If you reveal yourself, they will reveal themselves. So honesty is currency on social media, and authenticity will ensure your fans are the real deal, the type that'll support you and stick around. If you have your story straight, you, your team, and your users will buy it. Let people see behind the curtain too. Time and time again, we see that making of content or personal catch-ups achieve great results because you're showing the world a bit of yourself, something that they can connect with. If you're not comfortable in front of a camera or can't make a million jokes, that's fine. Work out what works for you and put the time to reveal that character into the world. Any storytellers out there will surely already know the hero's journey, a theory developed by Joseph Campbell, which looks at the universal elements of a story. Now, as the title implies, you've got to embrace being the hero of your story, a story that will resonate with your clients. What is every great hero? Relatable, vulnerable, human, and flawed. If you're brave enough to put yourself out there, people will connect. These characteristics are critical to any personal brand. Let's look at my hero's journey that landed me 100,000 gig that I mentioned earlier. So here I am, living life in beige Pleasantville, California, in my desk job. Fine, but I knew I wanted more, so I quit to pursue my dreams. I began my quest. I didn't have Gandalf or Yoda, so I found guidance in the writers, business people, thinkers, and influencers who I aspired to emulate. I battled to understand their wisdom. Then I moved to Israel with no friends, no connections, no Hebrew. I had entered into the dragon's lair. I had my doubts and I had my fears, but I continued to share my story on social media. And a mystic hears my call and comes to my aid. Well, I say mystic, but she was a Pilates teacher. Here we were, both Americans abroad, and she connected with my story. We became friends with no business intended. But then she spots on my Instagram that I'm into design, and she knows someone looking for people with my skill set. 3 months later, I've locked down a $100,000 deal with one of my biggest clients. You never know where the conversation is going to lead, and that conversation paid my rent for quite a while. All you can do is make sure you are having conversations, get to know people, find out what people need, serve them, often for free in the beginning, and before long, those people who can pay you will. Once you establish who you are, you can establish your value in the world. In self-help talk, know your worth. It's what's going to help you get out of bed in the morning. It'll give you that sense of purpose. It'll guide you forward and bring your team together. And crucially, it will show you what you can give to others. That's the G in the dragon. Give. Don't even think about taking before you give. Give value and give with no expectations. What's value? Anything that can make a person's life better. Time, money, inspiration, laughter, lessons. Look at me. I'm sharing social media tips, and a lot of people might think that's shallow, that social media is for narcissists or for nerds. I know life is more than gifts and emojis, but I also know my value. What I've learned saves people time, probably our most precious asset. It makes people money, not a bad asset either if you want to live from what you love. And finally, I help people connect to each other, our most basic human instinct. What do you do? Everyone on earth has value. Whatever yours might be, this is the lifeblood of your business, and you need to share it. And that's what makes Instagram perfect for the business that knows what it is. As Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. If you talk about what you believe, you will attract those who believe what you believe. You can't expect to receive if you don't give it first. And one of the most valuable things you can give is your story. When you give honestly, true to yourself and your brand, the people you attract are going to be the right people for you, the perfect community, and the perfect clients. If you're vulnerable with them, you show who you are and that you are willing to invest in a relationship that may or may not work out. Those who can best serve will connect with you. Giving in line with your purpose also feels really good. My purpose has always been to empower creative people to take over the world. I just published my free ebook to give away all the secrets I worked so hard to attain. Am I altruistic? No, but it makes me feel good. And karma comes back tenfold. Who knows? One day, one of you might be giving me my next big job or even just a delicious dinner. The book explains how I got to 100,000 followers, and you guys are all welcome to get a copy for free. Just go to love.lung.com/ebook. I've also created a free tool just for AdWorld attendees. Seriously, I'm giving you an entire social media calendar with prompts for your personal brand totally for free. Why? To serve you in the best way I can as your mother of social dragons. So, what makes a good conversation? Someone with real opinions, someone that shares your values and beliefs or even challenges them. That's the O in the dragon for opinion. We're back at that first date and you ask that sweet thing that sits before you what their opinion is on the stuff that interests you or even the stuff that doesn't. Even if they can talk passionately about, I don't know, a goldfish, on the way home you're thinking about buying a fish tank. That's why the N in the dragon is for niche. Even if it's a tiny topic, there are people out there who want to know about it. Focus your energy on them. And even if the quantity of your followers falls, the quality will skyrocket. If you start trying to reach everyone by trying to be something you're not, like giving regurgitated opinions or just having, well, nothing to say, no one's going to connect with you and Nemo's not going to get a home. You don't have to have an opinion on everything either. No one likes that guy, but you need to have one on something, especially the things that relate to your product. Your opinions are what will best communicate who you are. And hey, you might get a few haters on the way too, but all they're going to be doing is boosting your hits. Haters mean you've been seen and have a presence, and brands that can take a stand flourish online. So share what you think, good, bad, or ugly. You don't get to 1 million followers without 100,000 haters. And conversation. Remember, it's a two-way street. Recognize the value of your clients too. Their opinions are just as important as yours, so listen to them. If you do, they will show you exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. And that's going to have a direct consequence for your bottom line. So now we get to the final letter in the dragon's method. It's for S. Have you got any guesses of what you might think S represent? It's not sales. Get your mind off of those dollar signs. It's to serve. And if you really want to get sales, you must serve to sell. So I have one Instagram story strategy for you to implement when you're ready to serve and sell. The PPPP sales formula is built on the dragon's back. Step 1 is the picture. What is the vision of what your client wants to achieve? You don't need some focus group to understand this. Your dragon experience, the conversations, the connections, the lessons, the analysis, and friendships will make you perfectly qualified to picture your client's needs, how to serve them, and how to reach them. You've got 15 seconds to do that. Imagine having your own social media manager who will create and build your profitable personal brand. The second story is the promise. This is the step that's showing them what you're all about and what your promise is. Don't bullshit here. It won't work. It's not sustainable. It's not purposeful. And that's just bad karma. Instead, be direct and honest with exactly what you can provide to them in the next 15 seconds. I promise with the Social Dragons Notion calendar, you'll get your life back and you won't need to spend more than 30 minutes a day creating content for social media, because more than that is just kind of ridiculous. The third story is the proof. Why are you qualified to do this, and where is the evidence? You've got to show case studies, research, testimonials, whatever you've got. There's something about your product that convinced you. That's the same thing that will convince your tribe. The last story that you're going to push out there is the push. Once again, the sale and the call to action is saved for last. Nudge them to take action on your amazing offer on your fourth story. Even if you're not selling a product itself, you got to share your mission here. So if you want to check out the Social Dragons Notion calendar and save time, hassle, and confusion, swipe up to join my waiting list. And there you have it. You've got a tried and tested sales pitch structure to deliver in under a minute to where your followers will actually see it. Remember, the S is for serve, not sales. Do your homework, connect to your people, get yourself out there. Prioritize relatable stories that build relationships, and your conversations will lead to conversions, and your success will take care of itself. Freedom, time, and living your best life from anywhere in the world is what the Dragon methodology can bring you. I wish you all the success that you are prepared to work for. So go out there and slay dragons. And please remember to serve first, sell later. Enjoy the journey. Thank you so much, and remember to DM me at .lung to get your free gifts.